All right. Geniune Perspective. We jumping into part 2 right away. We got to get as many apps down as we can because these folk go AWOL and then, then everybody looking at me. TJ, when y'all gonna do another joint? I can't find nobody, but the folk here now, so.
Oh, you see how he did it, right?
Yeah. He first off, he act like I don't know, Steve Harvey and Weak Tommy and the crew, and everybody asking him, man, shut up, man.
What we talked about the first app was were you shocked with the results from the officers in the death of Breonna Taylor? My response is I was not shocked. Tone said he was not shocked, but we had different reasons on why we were not shocked. I'm not shocked by what police get away with, period. I don't care how extreme it is. I don't care how small it is. I don't care what white lie it is. I'm not shocked when cops are not held accountable for anything. How much stuff is being highlighted and how many cops are charged with whatever?
So real quick, mine was I'm not shocked because the cop got shot first. That's one reason. So I'm not shocked that they played it as self-defense. The other reason is I told T, we always tell our kids, watch who you hang around, you in that car, somebody do something in that car, you a part of that, you could get yourself into trouble, get yourself in a situation. And the word was she was hanging around folks and she was involved in a situation. So I will add this. I was thinking about this, T. So the narrative go, when it happened to black people, they make sure somebody get killed, yada yada yada. So remember Waco? They tried to go in there and get them guns. A couple ATF agents got shot, killed. They burned down a whole building full of families and kids. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a racial thing. That was you shot our cop first. So that was my take.
Well, to answer the question, man, given the climate, watching it play out, I sort of knew the outcome. So I wasn't shocked, but I am surprised. I'm surprised, man. I really am surprised given the climate, given the uproar. I thought that they would do something a little more than that. Honestly, I honestly thought they would do a little something more than that. But I'm not surprised they did. I try not to study on it too much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is infuriating, man. A lot of this stuff.
Same thing I say. I try not to even get into it. What you just now said, hold on, lost train of thought that fast. I think with the climate that's going on, they're going to take a more harsh stance. To me, it's a way that they're standing their ground. We think because of the climate and what's going on nowadays, they're going to start having a little leniency on this. They're going to take more of a stance because it's like, we're not giving into the will of these people. If that was the case, they wouldn't let so much go on as far as people burning down, looting, doing all this other stuff. They would have been started to give some. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like the hands are tied in a lot of ways, and I believe that we are on the cusp of a culture change, man. I know for a fact, and I can't put a percentage on it, but I know if I had to guess, I would say 98% of police officers do not need to have a weapon. You know what I'm saying? They just don't need to have a weapon, and the reason I say that is because they don't even get the right amount of training. They don't get the right amount of you can't reenact some of the stuff that they deal with. You can try for a little while. And for example, in the military, you always train.
Right.
You're always train. Yeah. And these guys don't. They go to the academy and they're done. Yeah. They done. And how long is the academy? 9 months or so. Yeah. Some of them never pulled their weapon before, and when they pull it, all that anxiety is pumping and that adrenaline is pumping. They don't need to have guns. I understand they feel like they need to have them because the bad guys got guns, but for the most part, police are paper pushers, man. They're pencil pushers. they don't stop crime. They come and report a crime, or they come and do paperwork on a crime. Yeah, maybe their presence would deter a little bit of crime. But so what you got guns for? Like, go to the arms room. If there's a situation, you got to go get your gun, go get it, come back. But I just don't feel like they need guns out there, man. And that would, I don't know.
So I gotta agree and disagree with Park. So I agree with you when you say they don't do much. I always call them the cleanup crew. Because you rarely ever see where they stop a murder. They come through and
after the fact
investigate. Yeah, after people dead and women been raped and all that. Then they show up standing around with their hands on their hip. But at the same time, on that rare occasion where they do run into the line of fire, or somebody shooting up the mall, and while everybody running out, they running in. You ain't got time to go get the gun. So you ain't got time to go back to the armory. You need that right there.
So
no, I feel you. But I feel like, go ahead. I'm sorry. I heard TJ get ready to say something.
Now I was gonna say, so being what you said and what Tone said, just like you have a SWAT team, there should be a tactical team. Like for what you're saying, Blizz. Like if you got your everyday beat cops or your patrol officers, they should not have firearms. Then exactly. And then when you get the call of bank robberies or you get a violent crime call, then those suited up people who are trained strictly for that, then they come into play. When a call is made, they respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you had those layers, number one, I think it'd be a few less people just putting their hand up to go be a police officer and they wouldn't run around with a gun. Because now you're going to actually have to be able to handle your body a little bit to be able to detain a suspect. You're going to have to put some work in. You might actually have to chase. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to be able to grab that gun all the time. Man, what happened? I ain't seen a foot chase except for on TV. You see that on TV. You see it on TV. Freeze, stop. You see all that on TV. But these guys, when we see it in the news,
they fire off.
That, man. So I feel like if they put them firearms away, I mean, think about it. If people were more aggressive, you could really like take a cop's gun. I mean, if you really want it, you know what I'm saying? So, and how often do they use it? They don't. They don't really use it. I know police officers personally, been on the force maybe 20-some years, never used a handgun.
No, and
so put them away. So I lost my train of thought. But the reason I was even mentioning that is because folks got that big protest or that big narrative right now, defund the police, defund the police. I understand what they mean, and I agree to an extent. But I think the vocabulary that you use is vital, because when you say defund, somebody feel like, what do you mean, just do away with the police? No, that's not what I'm saying. But they got to use the right vocabulary, because when you defund, you take away all those weapons, you take away all this tactical equipment and whatnot. I think before the 80s, man, I don't even know if police officers had all that stuff. I think the war on drugs initiated a whole lot of artillery.
So that right there is facts. But I will. So to your point, like the police, if you go over to London, whatever, they're not walking around with guns.
Right.
But then on the other side, like your man do, I'm gonna play both sides. Nobody got more guns than the U.S. And I don't want to be a cop walking into no neighborhood in Chicago, even if I know half of the residents and I'm cool with all of them. I know how many guns is in that neighborhood. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get it. So you heard about the 2 cops in Oakland that got shot sitting in the squad car.
Nah, that got bad.
What? So it's 2 cops in Oakland sitting in the squad car. They watching the train station, whatever. And dude come up and snipe both of them. Bow. And I think both of them live. But imagine he missed. Yeah. What you gonna call in the back up? Nah, I want to chase this dude down. And if he's still shooting, I want to shoot him. Because he's a threat, not just to me, but to everybody else. He randomly shooting people. We don't got time for all that there.
But
no, I feel you, but I believe that I honestly feel like, I mean, there was a time the police force, man, the police, not as we know it today, but the way it was initially set up was pretty much a slave patrol. I mean, and that's where it derived from. I mean, it turned into what it is, but if you take it back, see, they want to, I say they, the powers that be, this whole big thing about the Second Amendment, you know, whether you're pro Second Amendment or not.
Yes.
You know, when folks had a hammer on their hip, there was a time when, you know, most people carried a hammer on their hip. And maybe folks weren't so quick to act dumb. You certainly didn't have no mass shooting. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they want to take the power away from the people, and they put the police force that's supposed to protect and serve you. You don't need guns. We got guns. What? You know,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
And I think what Blizz saying also, like, you think, okay, if you beat cops, you patrol cops, let's say they don't have firearms, right? That'll bring that bravado down also. Like, if you think that these people are aggressive, if you don't think you good with your hands, you're not gonna walk up with no bass in your voice and talking down to somebody when you don't have that. You'll go into it trying to de-escalate a situation like you should be to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you got a firearm on your side and you believe that you're above whatever anyway, they have a tendency to down talk. You know what I'm saying? And just come off as something extra. If you don't have that firearm and it's man to man, they're more likely to de-escalate, try their best to, you know what I'm saying, bring the situation down. Let's talk about this.
So dig on this, T. So there was so I heard Blizz, and I heard a couple points about defund the police, and the one that he brought up, I think, was the best. That, you know, the language isn't right, and the cops need to be better trained, and you know, and the word you use, T, de-escalate, that should be their number one priority in every situation. But I have heard some extremists, and I heard it on TV and everywhere from the talking heads, all that, talk about, you know, we need to slash the police force in half and replace them with, you know, psychiatrists and maybe community people that can go talk to these people. And my response to that is, are you kidding me? So I mentioned this way back when we was doing the resistance. So and I can't remember the name of the young man that got killed up in Baltimore. But after him, remember that was what, 2 years ago? They had all the riots, all that.
Yeah.
Hating the police.
Name escapes me. Yeah.
Yeah, name. Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it Freddie Gray?
It might have been Freddie Gray. It might have been. But so it's documented that after that, cops was leaving Baltimore. They was leaving left and right. The most inner city parts of the city, they didn't want to work there. They going out to the suburbs. They going to you know, Northern Virginia, all that, to the good spots where they just arresting white kids with weed.
Yeah.
And what happened to Baltimore? The crime rate, the murder rate amongst us shot through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's still through the roof. It's crazy.